Mars has returned, born of the same fire that gave rise to my reign.
Hello, I'm Louise Blaine, GamesRadar's news lead, and I am here with Leon Hurley, who has been playing Just Cause 3.
I have indeed, yes, and I've been exploding a lot.
Making things go boom.
Well, mainly me going boom.
Okay.
So I played like that first 3-4 hours, so I played through the sort of tutorial and then kind of the first Liberator Village mission. So if you haven't played Just Cause before, it's always set on tropical islands. You play this guy called Rico, who's like a one-man dictator disposer. You know, he gets sent in and he has to sort of take down the country like bit by bit by bit until he can eventually get rid of the bad guy. In this case, it's Medici, it's his hometown. So you go in and you're meant to destabilize the regime, basically by blowing it up bit by bit by bit. And so you glide around a helicopter. You've got a little grappling hook thing that you can sort of use to tie things together and pull yourself around. And Just Cause 2 was excellent. It was really good fun. You had a really wide kind of auto aim, so it's very kind of arcadey action. You were zooming around on a parachute, shooting people on the ground. Brilliant fun. Just Cause 3, I'm not sold on it yet because it was so chaotic and kind of so messy that there were points at which I was kind of like, I'm not sure if the game's meant to be like this. Like, just everything was exploding. Guards come in from every direction. They're always calling in reinforcements. The bits of what make it up sound... I'm still kind of excited for it. But trying to make sense of it all was a bit kind of much.
So you mentioned the grappling hook.
Yes.
That
is excellent. The old grappling hook, you could basically pull yourself along and you could tether one thing to another thing. So it was great in Just Cause 2. You could tether a car that was chasing you to the ground, and then when it reached the end of the wire, it would flip over and sort of go through the air, and it was fantastic. Now, based on some PC mods, you can fire up to 6 tethers, and then you can retract them. So you can fire, you could tether like a guard's arms to 2 walls and then retract it, and it will lift them up like a string puppet.
Right.
You can pull barrels into you can tether a helicopter to a barrel, retract it, and then smack the 2 together. I was obsessed with pulling over the guard towers because you can sort of tether little individual bits of the guard tower and pull it out one by one.
That sounds kind of Mad Maxy almost.
Well, the destruction in it is fantastic. It's really kind of well. I don't know, written, coded, whatever, So you can pull like bits of the guard tower out until it eventually structurally collapses. So it's not like a pre-canned animation. You can pull it over. Bridges, you can sort of blow the legs out, and you can blow the whole thing up and it's destroyed in one go, or you can blow bits of it up until eventually it crumbles under its own weight. And we did it in a demo before we played, and the bridge sort of carried on collapsing for a little while afterwards because the weight got too much, and eventually bits of it broke off. So all the tools and everything are fantastic. It's just that sort of first 3-4 hours, I was trying to make sense of it all, was really kind of just chaotic. I spent a lot of time in the red screen, you're about to die kind of tinge around the edge. Like, that just went on pretty much the whole time I was playing because guards everywhere, helicopters, tanks, they're always calling in reinforcements. You can get up on the parachute and sort of try and fly around, but the aiming is much more precise now, so you don't have that kind of easy kind of arcade... Not spray and pray. You had to point in the right direction for Just Cause 2, but you had a lot more give. It was very generous. Now it's very precise. So
then, in terms of this open world, is it kind of Far Cry in the fact that you've got multiple bits to bring down, or are you more focused?
Yeah, so it's not quite Far Cry in the structure in terms of like radio towers or anything like that. You have each sort of islands. I think there's about 3 islands. It's broken down into districts, and each have like certain things you have to do to liberate it.
Okay.
So. For example, after doing all the tutorials in the first bit, there was I had to liberate the first section before I could then go on to the second mission. There's bases. The key thing is basically anything the government owns is red. So there's like kind of these fuel barrels and radar dishes and transformers, and they're all painted red. And anything like that you can destroy, and it gives you sort of points. So you go to a military base, and there'll be X things to blow up. And you go to town, and this is where sort of like the exciting potential is you can drop in tanks, helicopters, you can use rocket launchers, grenade launchers. I did one base where I just circled for ages on the parachute using there were some chimneys, so I was using the grapple line to just keep myself going around these chimneys, just raining grenades on them and like popping off rocket launchers and sort of thinning it out as much as I could before dropping down and finishing off the rest. So the potential of how you sort of tie it all together is really, really sort of exciting and interesting.
Okay, so it's got exciting bits, you've a little bit too chaotic in bits, but still has lots of potential for...
I think I had about 3-4 hours with it, and it was just enough time to basically get my ass handed to me several times. I would like to play it more to see how the learning curve goes and whether you grow into it more. But yeah, the tools are fantastic, the weapons are fantastic, the island's fantastic. It's just the first few hours are kind of quite tough going.
Well, that's our thoughts on Just Cause 3, and for more info on the game, keep an eye on GR+.